Hey guys, I'm super excited to get to talk to you about The Boys Season 3. You guys probably know, if you've been around this channel a while, that I am a massive fan of this show and the comics, but specifically this show. I love that as the seasons go on, it just gets bloodier and gorier and, yes, even more political. So let's dive into my spoiler-free review of The Boys Season 3. But before we do, if this is your first time here, I'd love it if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Okay? Let's talk The Boys. Okay guys, so I have to preface this with you should see the DNR, do not reveal, list that Prime Video sent over. It is like miles long, and I'm talking for each individual episode. Now, the first 3 episodes drop tomorrow on Prime Video. Following up with that, it's one a week until we get the epic finale with episode 8, and trust me, it's epic. Listen, you guys are not ready for this season. Anyone who says they're ready is wrong. This season is insane. Of course, we all know we get the introduction of Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, who is, by the way, the perfect fit. He's so good. He reminds me a little bit of that new Captain America we got in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which, you know, obviously is kind of a connection a lot of people have been making on Twitter. And yes, that's true. That's kind of who this Soldier Boy is. But listen, you guys, he's so good in this show. I absolutely love his character and what his character brings. Of course, I say I love him, but you guys, these soups aren't good people, right? None of them are ever good people. And you know what? The boys really aren't good people either if it comes down to it. And if you've seen the trailers, you know that maybe, just maybe, yes, it happens. Butcher gets powers. How does that happen? How does it all come about? Well, it's something called temporary V, and that's really all I can say. But it's insane and so awesome to watch how he handles having powers after, you know, he's kind of talked crap about Soups for a very, very long time. Now, of course, we also have lots of PTSD going all the way around, right? So many people dealing with PTSD and things that have happened in the past. But man, oh man, this season just gets bloodier and gorier and more political than ever before. There's so many references to real life political issues that we've been dealing with. I mean, there's not too much I can say, but I'll tell you, there's stuff that deals with racism. There's stuff that deals with toxic fan bases, let's put it that way. I mean, there's some truly insane stuff. So many things that they say, like certain lines would be like, oh yeah, that was taken from real life. Okay, we're gonna do this. All right, let's do it. I mean, it's so good. And I'm talking like polar opposites. Like there's both sides of the spectrum here as well. But it's just really, really, really bloody. Like really bloody. Like the past 2 seasons have been bloody, but I feel like they just took it up a notch. The action sequences are insane. The superpower fights are crazy. Like this season is so good. There's so much I want to say that I can't. The Boys Season 3 picks up 1 year after the final episode of The Boys Season 2. This is a brilliant move. This is a great way to just propel that story forward. And we also get to see how things have changed for certain characters in that last year. Some people are living the high life. Some people are doing a great job. Some people are completely broken and shut down. And I really can't get into details of who is in which situation, but you'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it with that first episode, and then that second episode, and then that third episode. I mean, listen, in true The Boys format, each of these episodes really does end with somewhat of a cliffhanger, and you're like, what is happening? And then we get to the finale, and you guys, it all actually wraps up perfectly. Listen, this season, it's very, very bingeable. Unfortunately, you're only getting 3 episodes tomorrow and then 1 a week following that. Now, this format is something The Boys has done before, and I think it's a great way to keep the conversation going, a great way to pull out theories and see what's going to happen, get predictions out there, and I can't wait to see what some of you come up with, because I'll tell you what, I was completely shocked. There are twists and turns in here that I did not see coming. Now, there's also a lot of surprise actors that show up, and I can't say who, but oh my gosh, my mind was blown several times. I was so excited to see these people. Now, let's talk really about where this story goes. Of course, without spoilers and my thoughts. So we have one cohesive plot here. We've got a couple little side things, but we have one main story that's happening throughout, and I think that's really, really smart. Everything is tied into that one thing. It's kind of something The Boys has done before in the past. And of course, you throw in a whole lot of political references. I mean, this show is completely unafraid to dive into the politics of the United States of America, and they do that so well. But of course, we've got The Boys versus the Soups, and man, oh man, I already know there's going to be a season 4. We know there's going to be a season 4, and I cannot freaking wait to see where this story goes because, well, yes, it ties up all the loose ends pretty much. I mean, it always leaves it open for more stuff to go on, right? It's exactly like it did with season 2, right? There's something that they left open. I guess there's 2 main things that they leave open at the end that I'm sure are going to be major events of season 4, and I cannot freaking wait. So, like I said, I mean, this season is bonkers. I mean, you guys are going to be shocked, and you're going to think you heard me wrong. There's literally musical numbers in this season. And when it happens, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever in the entire world. And it is. I mean, everyone raises the bar in this season. Listen, The Boys has always been something that is shocking. It has always been something that is just jaw-dropping, right? It's like blood, gore, sex. I mean, they do not shy away from stuff. And like I said, they take it up another whole notch. Every single actor is just at this point really, really truly embracing their characters. You can tell they know them inside and out, and they love them. And there's even more of a rift here between Homelander and Starlight, which I love seeing on screen, which actually during the interview, it was funny because Anthony and Aaron said they have a great friendship off screen, and it actually helps with them bringing that antagonism to their relationship on screen because they know how to push each other and they know each other. So that really, really helps with them with that, which you would think if they're like really good friends, it'd be super hard for them to hate each other on screen. But apparently it just makes it easier. It's very interesting. Now, as we see in the trailer, Butcher really wants to level the playing field. So he takes some temporary V in order to give himself powers so that he can feel like, hey, I am able to, actually go up against these Soups and maybe have a shot. I can't say too much more about that or if anybody else joins him, but I will say it leads to some really awesome scenes. And it was great, I'm sure, for Karl Urban to finally get to play with superpowers after being a part of this show for so long. I can't get into details, obviously, but what happens with Homelander is one of my favorite parts of this season because, well, listen, it feels real. From the outside looking in, I feel like this is something that could happen in the real world. His story, his arc this season feels exactly like something we've seen in real life. I don't want to get into too many details, but I was like, oh yeah, that checks out. That tracks, unfortunately. Because we all know Homelander, he's got a little bit of a screw loose. Now, during the interviews of the press day, actually, Anthony Starr said that he thinks Homelander is the weakest on the show just because of everything that he deals with, but he really hides that under the surface and tries his hardest to come off as the strongest, which I find very interesting. I mean, he's physically the strongest, but emotionally the weakest, which I think we can all agree after having watched seasons 1 and 2, and wait till you see season 3. Now, I know this is somewhat of a vague review. It's really, really hard because they sent a massive DNR list, like I said, but if you loved seasons 1 and 2, you are going to love season 3. They push the envelope even further. It's bloodier, it's gorier, it's more political, it's action-packed. I mean, pretty much every episode has a great action scene. Of course, it has shocking things that happen in every single episode. There's blood in every single episode. There's cliffhangers in every single episode. There's lots of language and there's some sex. I mean, you guys, this season is insane, but it's so good. Like I said, it's definitely bingeable. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to binge it. However, when it's all over, I highly recommend going back and watching it again because I've watched it through twice and I've picked up on more things as I watch it the second time. Now, there's tons of references to real life political events, some of which are very sad, very, very sad. And I have to imagine that Eric Kripke is here just changing the script as they're filming, like, oh, look at this thing that just happened in real life. Let's throw this into season 3 for funsies. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case because there are a lot of references. This is something this show has always been completely unafraid to do, is just dive into that politicalness. And I have to applaud it for that. I have to appreciate it for that. I'm interested to see what the fan base thinks after this season airs, because there are certainly some things that get intense. Let's put it that way. They feel real, and it hurts in the heart a little bit because of how real they feel. But listen, all right, guys, I've got to stop rambling. Overall, The Boys Season 3 is phenomenal. I mean, I really don't have many issues with it. The pacing is great. Again, it's kind of interesting because I watched it all back to back to back. You guys are going to be watching it episode 3 or 1 through 3 one day, and then each week after that. But for me, it all flowed really well. It was great. The cliffhangers are so good, and it's just a fantastic season. All of the actors have stepped it up. The new cast that comes in is amazing. I mean, Jensen Ackles is absolutely incredible and unapologetically Soldier Boy, and I kind of love where he is. I can't say too much about him, I don't think, but I love that we see him dealing with things that are real life things. I think that's about all I can say. This is very difficult for me, you guys. If you couldn't tell, this is very, very, very hard because there's so many things I want to talk about. Listen, I'm going to have spoiler stuff up after every episode, so be sure to check those out. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited for The Boys Season 3? Down below in the comments. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. You guys can check out all my interviews with the cast over at MamasGeeky.com. You can check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm at MamasGeeky over there. MamasGeeky. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much to all my monetary supporters, my members, and my Patreons. Love you guys.